Hey guys, we're just going to do a bit of a roundtable with Elisa, Emma and myself on a few topics that typically come up in all of our coaching with our clients and things like that, and what tends to be a pretty common conundrum with the wider population, be it fitness industry or just the general population when it comes to recovery and all that sort of stuff. So the first topic we're going to cover is putting timeframes around dieting and recovery. Obviously the timeframes around that are not really going to be a useful thing in moving forward, would you say?
I would say so, especially for recovery. If you're trying to rush recovery and make it all happen now and be recovered tomorrow, it just doesn't work that way. I think there's definitely like two phases of recovery that most people go through. And the first one is like gathering all this information about recovery and what it should look like, what I should be doing actively to make it happen. And then realizing that that just doesn't work. Like you kind of need to relax into it and let it happen on its own. So I think there's two sort of phases that you kind of go through. And it's not till you get to that second phase and you realize that recovery is going to take as long as it needs to, and it's all individual, that you actually start to see things happen and progress in a way that leads you towards that recovery point.
Yeah.
I think also if you have like some time frame set, or maybe you listen that, okay, for Emma I took for a year, so for me also it's gonna take a year, but what if it takes longer? And you're gonna get like discouraged, and so it puts like unnecessary pressure on you to like, I have to reach recovery if it's over like 12 months and like something is wrong. So yeah, I think for me, or how I did it, was that you can put like, okay, like 2 years or something, like very long period of time rather than too short. So then you don't have like any pressure and expectations that, okay, maybe like 1 month I'm gonna not binge anymore, second month I'm not gonna, I don't know, have these obsessions anymore. And yeah, there's like no reason to put any time frames, and yeah, unnecessary like pressure on you.
Because I think a part of like the whole timeframes situation, even from recovery, is purely out of their, previous dieting mindset. Because when everyone starts, whether it's, innocently wanting to lose a couple of kilos, or whether it's like in the fitness industry for competitions and stuff like that, there's set time frames, there's deadlines, there's I must do this in this time frame, or I want to have this done in that time frame, or the competition is 12 weeks away, so I'm going to restrict myself now for the next 12 weeks. And everything they're doing is time frame outcome based, and it's, if it doesn't work in that time, it wasn't right, or I have to go harder next time. And that's just building and cementing those unhelpful mindsets towards it. And the recovery is where you have to undo all that, and the time frames and how you thought about how you ate and what you did in time frames before is the reason you're here now needing to recover. And that's a part that you actually need to undo.
So it's part of the diet mentality, and you want to like delete all of this sort of thinking. Like recovery is not like a straight line. It's about like ups and downs. Someday you're gonna, I don't know, do something and you feel like you relapsed, but there is nothing wrong. No diet is broken, and it doesn't mean you have to go back and start all over again. You just have to keep going. So yeah, even if you feel like, okay, today I had a bad day, then yeah, it's okay, it happens, but you just have to keep on going.
I think it's funny that even, I don't know if the general population are too well like versed with it, but especially in like the fitness industry and competitors and stuff like that, I think a lot of them, or a vast majority of them, actually realize that progress in general is never linear. It never happens like at this rate, at this time, and things like that. Yet they still expect it to happen that, or they still want it to happen at a perfect rate, when it's just logically they already know that that doesn't happen. But the pressure they put themselves under, or because they want it yesterday and no patience on it, that just continues to drive all the problems.
Yeah, and like I wrote a post about it actually today, It's sort of finding that middle ground and not living in the extremes anymore, and not going from one side to the other. It's actually just coming back to the middle, and it's not about sort of totally being on your diet or totally off it and binge eating. It's just back to the middle ground and back to not letting things sway you one way or the other.